Welcome back to Daryl's Digest. I'm going to continue to discuss my life with early onset of dementia. Okay, this channel is documenting my experiences only. If you have dementia or are dealing with someone with it, they may have totally different experience. My single biggest fear is not knowing those around me. That one fear constantly comes to the forefront when I discover any new deficiency. So, a couple weeks ago, when my therapist and I found a large hole in my memory, I started thinking, how can I tell the ones I love about that fear? That's how the idea of this YouTube channel evolved. If I lose the ability to know the ones I loved, they, you, will always have these videos to refer back to. I want to define some things so anyone watching can have a better feel of my situation. I've lost the ability to do math in my head. Even simple mathematic problems are impossible to process. I have trouble finding the right or sometimes even appropriate word to finish a sentence. And then, of course, there's the memory issues, both short term and longer term. I live in a small town where everybody knows everyone. It's that kind of place where everyone waves when we see each other passing in our vehicles. My ability to process who is waving at me and wave back is gone. I want to come back to these lost abilities, but before I do, I need to explain some other things. I can still think logically. I have learned to write my thoughts down and go back to them. My goal is to start at least one more business before this disease wins. And for the record, I know it ain't gonna be no YouTube business. The numbers they require to make money on here are way, way higher than what I expect. See, that's still logic. Right at this minute, everything I have tried in business has failed, either by my fault, or I've been forced to give it up, or it has just run its course. But I will come back. All right, now back to the negatives that I mentioned. Stop and think for a moment about them. Can you imagine being involved in a conversation when someone asks a math question? I am so embarrassed every time a math problem is proposed, and I know I can't figure it out. Think about this one. Take the boys out to eat and not being sure I have enough money to pay for it. I'm already over being embarrassed when I have to ask a clerk to take groceries off my list because I can't afford them. Now there's the idea of being in a conversation. First, Think about being in a group setting. How often are you in a group setting when more than one person starts talking? At that point, it's damn impossible for me to concentrate on one or the other. Talking in a group conversation is just as bad. There is always at least one, sometimes more, who can't wait for me to find the word I'm searching for to complete my thought or sentence. One on one conversations can be just as tricky. If anything breaks my yeah, see, if anything breaks my concentration, I have no idea what we were talking about. In one of these videos, I mentioned how some of these symptoms can be interpreted as bad behavior. Do you find someone rude if they don't follow along during your conversation? If you live in a city or a community where people don't wave at each other, then you may not see this as a rude behavior. It really sucks for me not being able to wave back to people. My brain just doesn't process face the name to wave back in time for me to respond. I'm sure more than one person has considered me rude for not waving. Before I go on, I need to make a couple things clear. I don't want your damn sympathy. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I am playing with the cards I have been dealt. I still think I can win. Folks, it's about to get funky now. Again, I'm going to tell you about the first big hole my therapist and I, found in my memory. I was going through some stuff left at the house, and I found an envelope with pictures in it. They were all the same picture. This picture. You need to get this back here. Sorry about that. You need to know that I really enjoyed coaching. I coached for 13 years in Brockway. So, back to this picture. One common phrase that I hear from people is, don't worry, I forget things too. On social media, all the time I'm seeing someone post, how can I remember the lyrics to this 70s or 80s song, but I can't remember whatever? I worry about that. Is it just old age or is it dementia? So I take this picture to therapy. Yeah, the one Monday at 9 o'clock. And I asked my therapist to help me through this. Let me first tell you what I remembered when I saw it. I knew it was an eighth grade team. It took me a while, but I figured out the guy in the middle left side was my oldest son, Carter. call him the king, and his younger brother, Prince. So at this point, I took a picture of it and sent a copy to him. I said, King, there's one guy on here, I can't remember his last name. There's another, I just can't remember at all. He answers. Then I said, King, why does it say the Fab 11? He says, Dad, that's what you used to call us. Armed with all this information, I head into my therapy session. My question was, is this normal aging or is it dementia? He asked me what I was able to bring, or was I able to bring back any other memories about this pitcher, season, or saying after I had got some of this other information. The answer is, and still is, no. Saddens me. Regular old age, he said, would probably have seen me being able to bring some other memories back. These memories are locked up, at least for right now. Let me finish this episode with some housekeeping things. First, in the small video right before this one, I perform my version of On Top of Spaghetti. If you feel obligated to send some funds for me to get voice lessons, go ahead. Second, the 13-minute video on here is where I go into detail about when I found out I had dementia. It was very painful to write. It ripped some emotions raw. I've not spoken about it since. If you only want to watch a couple of these videos, I would strongly recommend the first one and that one. Thanks for watching. This was recorded on the Monday of Thanksgiving week. I'm very thankful for friends, old and new, young and old. Until the next time, keep counting those D's.